Hello everyone, so you're all incredibly welcome to today's YouTube video. So last Monday we spoke about the topic of procrastination, but I've had a few DMs that were sent to me and asked me could I just talk a small bit more about it. So I'm glad you're going to do that today. So the truth is procrastination is costing you more than you think. So in today's video I should say, I just want to talk about what is it costing you, what is it costing your business, and what are the steps that we can take so that we can rectify that. So I've my laptop in front of me, I have some notes, let me share them with you and see if it can be a benefit to your business today. So procrastination itself isn't it's not a time management problem. It's actually an income problem. Now, when I heard this, 2 or 3 years ago, that it was an income problem, not a time management problem, it kind of struck me because I would have always thought in the past, especially a few years ago, that I procrastinated in different areas. But the truth was that it was an income problem. And until I was taught that by someone who had greater knowledge than me, who had experienced maybe the same things that I would have experienced years earlier, I didn't really get to grips and understand that. But if you're somebody who's self-employed and you're somebody who's starting out in business, this might be one of the biggest threats to your business within the next 12, 18, 24 months. So remember, the economy is not the threat, the competition is not the threat, the pricing that you provide is not the threat. The threat is actually you yourself. The decision that you might have made last Monday, or the decision that you might have made during the week, maybe the email that you didn't send, maybe the offer that you were meaning to put together for the last couple of weeks, that's the truth. What the truth is that's what's keeping you really, really small, okay? And I'm just speaking about this because I was the same person that kept myself small for such a period of time because I wasn't taking those action steps and doing what I was supposed to be doing. So look, today I'm going to show you exactly how procrastination is affecting your growth and your income, what we can do about it. So stay with me if you can for this one. We're going to try and make it a small bit uncomfortable and get you out of your comfort zone so that you can grow. So first of all, let's kill that myth about procrastination. What is it? Well, first of all, it's not laziness, because anyone who's watching this, especially if you're self-employed or you're a beginning entrepreneur or whatever it might be, you're not lazy because you're putting in all the hours God has given you throughout that day. In a lot of cases, you're not getting the time that you want to be with your family or your friends or other loved ones that are out there because you're pushing all the time that you can within your business. Excuse me. You're up early in the morning and you're working late and you realize that you're busy all day long. But the truth is, what is busy doing for you? Is that busyness being productive? Because truthfully, procrastination is really is avoidance dressed up as productivity. And again, as I said, we've all done it, every one of us, including this person presenting this video today. But when you start to look and reorganize your desk, or watching another business video, or tweaking your logo for the 4th or 5th time, that feels like work. But the truth of it, it looks like work, but it's not moving the needle forward in that business. I've often spoke before about that phenomenal mentor in Tampa, Florida, Myron Golden, when he would say, what are you doing today to move your business forward? What are you doing today to move the needle forward in your business? And each and every one of us has to ask ourselves that way. But by moving the needle forward, it allows you to build up that confidence within yourself. It allows you to self-grow. It allows you to realize that you're making that step forward. But look, the cruel part of all these things is you need to ask yourself, what are the tasks that you're avoiding doing today? Because those tasks are usually the ones that would bring in money. So let's put some numbers together, really simply, really low numbers, so that it can strike with you and let you know like where you're at or where you could be. What I've written down here, just say you're a self-employed person and you're earning $50 or €50 per hour for the service that you provide. And every week that you're spending with just say 5 hours procrastinating, and you're avoiding the follow-up calls and you're delaying the marketing and you're putting off that conversation with a potential client, you're basically leaving on the table $250 a week in lost potential. That equates to €1,000 a month or $12,000 a year. Now, 12,000 is a lot of money in any person's book, especially when you're starting off in a young business or in a new business. It's a lot of money because there's so much you could do with that 12,000. Could you imagine if you used that 12,000 just on marketing alone, how it could propel your business forward? But remember, it's not just that direct income loss. Look at the compounding effect that it has. What about the client that you didn't follow up with that went with your competitor? That's the compound effect. What about the content that you didn't post, that you meant to put up, and because someone else was in your space and you decided, well, I'm not going to put that up because it made me uncomfortable? What about that offer that you never launched? What about the sales that didn't come in, the testimonials that you didn't put in? That creates a lack of momentum. Look, the reason I'm speaking about this today really passionately is because I did the exact same in the past. I didn't do the follow-ups, I didn't send out the emails, but through the right mentorship and through the cost of not bringing the income in that I wanted to bring in, I learned the dear way. But it's amazing when you learn these things once or twice, or I should say when they cost you once or twice, you learn the lesson very, very quick. And that's really why I'm directing it at you today, that the things that you're not doing are really costing you an awful lot of money. But remember, procrastination also doesn't just cost you today, it costs the version of your business of where it would be in 6 months' time. Remember, there's also a confidence cost. Every time you avoid, sending that message out, you're telling yourself subconsciously that you're not ready. Now, what does that do to the human being? It absolutely deflates them. You'll say to yourself that it's not the right time. And remember, the longer you wait, the bigger the task becomes in your mind, and it gets harder to start. It becomes like a cycle. You avoid, you feel guilty, you avoid more, and you end up feeling worse. It's not an easy place to be. But let's ask ourselves the question, why are we really doing all these things? Why do we procrastinate? Because in understanding why we procrastinate becomes part of the reason how we can develop to break that cycle, break that pattern, break that behavior. And there's 3 main reasons why self-employed people specifically procrastinate. Number 1, there's a fear of judgment. When you're employed, the only person that really suffers is your employer. If they have a bad day, it's the employer themselves. But if you yourself have a bad day, if things don't go the way that you want them as a self-employed entrepreneur, you're the one that feels like you failed. You're the one that feels bad. You're the one that feels that I didn't put up that post, I didn't put up the offer, I didn't put the video, you didn't publish it because the truth is you were protecting your ego. But number 2, there's also the perfectionism. How many of us can hold our hands up and say, today, I want to wait until that's perfect? It just doesn't exist. Just do it now. It's really important. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. The time is never going to be perfect. Just take that action and do it now. And number 3, there's also the overwhelm. We all feel overwhelmed now and again. When you're starting out, everything feels urgent and nothing feels clear. You don't know what you want to do first, or else you'll do nothing at all. Or are you the kind of person that, you do everything except the thing that matters most? Now, please put your hand up if that feels familiar to you. Now ask yourself, what is it doing to your growth? What is it doing to the growth of you personally and to the growth of your business? I'm going to refer to my notes in this one here. Here's the growth piece that I really want you to understand. The business grows through momentum. Business grows through momentum. It's quite simple, isn't it? Those 4 words. But small, consistent actions, they compound over time. A follow-up email sent today might turn into another client in 6 weeks or 6 months' time, and nobody knows. A piece of content posted this week might bring in a business inquiry maybe in 4 weeks or 6 weeks. A system built now saves you 10 hours in the month or in the next 3 to 4 years. You're putting together small little things and they're the things that compound over time and make a huge difference. But remember, if you procrastinate, it kills that momentum, and you cannot compound something that you never start. So the self-employed people who grow really, really quickly, they're rarely the most talented. I've met so few entrepreneurs that I would say, oh my goodness, they're incredibly talented. There might be 1 in every 100. But the one difference that each and every one of them have is that they're consistent. And they're disciplined in their consistency, especially when it comes to, maybe their social media content or contacting people regarding sales or follow-up calls or sending out emails. And if they don't do it personally themselves, they have somebody within their organization that's going to do that for them. They become good delegators. Remember, they do the uncomfortable thing before they actually feel that they're ready. As I said to you there, they send the email when it's only 80% perfect. They post the video even when they feel nervous. They follow up even when it feels awkward. Like truthfully, look, when I started doing YouTube or Instagram videos, oh my God, I felt completely so nervous. I'd be saying, what if my friends see this? What if my wife sees this? What if my neighbours see it? And I kind of hide behind it. Now I just don't care because I have a message that I know can help so many people, and that I can bring value into people's lives. And that's why I do it. All of a sudden, the uncomfortableness and the awkwardness just leaves after a period of time, and you don't care because you know that you're something that is going to change people's lives. And that's what we're here for on this earth. God sent each and every one of us here as creators. And we were asking the question, how could we bring more value into people's life? How can we bring more service to make other people's lives better? And also we benefit from that financially, but in a like way, our families and our loved ones benefit from that. So it's a win-win for everyone. Once someone puts in that effort, everyone down along, like that domino effect, benefits. Excuse me. But look, getting back to the original thing is that if you're 6 months into your business and you're working, wondering why it's not growing like the way that you'd hoped, maybe you thought that I'll change my pricing, or I'll change my website, or I'll invest in ads. You need to ask yourself the question today, what have you really and truly been putting off? Because the answer is usually that's where the growth is hiding. And it's amazing some of the notes there that I've taken down. That's one area that I've highlighted, is that the growth is where you're hiding. And each and every one of us hide at some stage in our lives. So let's look at the next, we'd say, part that I want to go on to. And it's asking the question, how do we break that cycle? How do we break that pattern? So you can do things by starting immediately. Start today. Identify the highest value task that you can do every morning. Not on your to-do list, not on your emails. What's the one thing that if you got that done today that would move the business forward? Or as we said earlier on, that would move the needle forward, would nudge your business forward. Write it down. Do it first before anything else, before someone else comes along, before the phones start ringing and there's a disturbance, before you start looking at social media, before the distractions come into your life. Do those things first. Tackle the most hardest things, the most important thing before your brain is trying to talk you out of it. Number 2, shrink the task down. We've all had situations where the task seems so overwhelming that we just come along and we say, I can't do it, I can't be bothered to do it, and you run away from it. But the truth is that the task is still going to be there when you come back. So shrink it down, bring it down into small little steps. Tell yourself that you're just going to write the first line of an email, or the first line of a post, or the first line of a potential video that you're going to present. Because throughout that day, once you have the first line done, you get that rough draft, and throughout that day, you'll start to get into emotion again, and you will actually finish it. It's amazing when you get into something, you will finish it. Number 3, create accountability. Now, this is really important, because when you're self-employed, there's nobody chasing you. And in one part of life, that's fabulous. When you don't have anyone chasing, you don't have to be looking over your shoulder. But the truth is, you need somebody. You need a peer, you need a mastermind group, you need someone that you're going to be able to report back to and say, this is where I am, this is what I've been doing today, this is the direction that I'm going in, and that they can help you as well and spot areas that you're really not fulfilling your true self. It gives you an opportunity to grow. And remember, you become uncomfortable at start, but you start to get comfortable then with that as you move forward. And we're always going to be at stages in our business where we get comfortable, but we have to try and become uncomfortable again, because the truth is, it's being uncomfortable, that's where the real growth lies within the business. So look, as I close this video, this is what I'd love for you to take today. Procrastination is not really a personality flaw. It truly is a habit. And as the late Bob Proctor said before, habits can be changed. They're all habitual. They're all behaviors that we take. But you have to be honest with yourself first. The business that you want is truly on the other side of the things that you've been avoiding. And it's really that simple. So this week, please don't leave it till next week. Please don't leave it till the week after. Please just do it today. If you're watching this video today, take the action today. Pick one thing you've been putting off, one call, one piece of content, one email. Please, one offer. Do your best to get it done today. The worst case scenario, don't let it pass Friday. The week is going to go by anyway. Please don't put it off, because that's where procrastination will start to kill you. Remember, if you do it today or even this week, momentum starts. It's now one decision, it's one action, and it's repeated. And repetition will bring that success. It brings consistency and it brings a discipline. Look, if this video has resonated with you, and I really hope it does, please press the subscribe button. Maybe like the video. Maybe leave a comment in the section below. If you're self-employed and look, you want help building that business, if you want help to grow it, if you're having difficulty in certain areas, please send me a direct message and I'll gladly help you out, or leave a comment and I'll come back to you. Anyway, until next week for our next video, which we do every week, try to get them done. We will be presenting every Monday. I hope that you have a great week. I hope you have a blessed week. And between now and then, I wish you a great week and God bless. Thank you.